So the Five Nights at Freddys trailer or teaser trailer is now out and with us, or at least it was last week. I know I'm a bit late, although I still want to take a look at it and talk about it and maybe pick some of the trailer apart and some of the marketing and some stuff like that. So let's talk about it and let me explain. So the trailer starts and right away we have our first kind of look at like kind of old school Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria when it's kind of still open. And I kind of found this cool, and I do wonder if this is going to be the opening phone call that we get during like the nights of in the game or the video game, where like, you know, it's like hello, and they're talking to us and everything about like, you know, what to do when the monsters or when Freddy and his friends come to fuck us over and all of that. And I don't know if this is going to be it or maybe someone later on that we'll talk about.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy.
So yeah, we have all of this, and we do have a little Foxy kind of plush right here, which is really cool, and just a bunch of kids and adults playing like all the games, pinball, or not pinball, the ball pit. So showtime, and we have all of the animatronics. Now this right here instantly sparked my interest because this is literally almost just like the trailer to the video game, or like, you know, the first Five Nights at Freddy's video game, where you have all the animatronics just standing on stage, you know, rocking out with like, you know, Freddy in front line, like Bonnie playing the guitar, Chica standing there. But it's very reminiscent of the first original trailer to the first Five Nights at Freddy's video game. And right here we have modern day Five Nights at, or like, you know, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, all closed down, knocked down likely because of the bite of 87 and kind of all of that stuff, which could have happened back then with where that video was filmed, that whole like trainer video, or where like, you know, Josh Hutcherson's character, Mike Schmidt's shown on his first night, or before he's hired. See all of it just rubble. And yeah, here's Mike Schmidt, Josh Hutcherson's character, Mike Schmidt, just walking through, like, you know, looking through at the pizzeria. We have a bunch of little details kind of all scattered around here, like the kind of murals, or like, you know, the back of the seats, the ticket machines, and all just around this like cafeteria type thing with like, you know, Chica, and we have Bonnie, like, you know, the cupcake and the iconic like, you know, Bonnie guitar and everything. Prizes, ticket machines, all of that, food. And we obviously have Mike Schmidt's character. We have a bunch of little pictures over here, like drawings. And I do wonder if those are maybe some like Easter eggs, because obviously in the Five Nights at Freddy's video games, there's a lot of drawings, at least when it's stuck around the like, you know, kind of the establishment, the restaurants. There's like a lot of pictures and drawings. I do wonder if there maybe will be some Easter eggs inside of these drawings, which would be really cool.
You've been selected.
And first we see Mike Schmidt just looking behind the curtains to see Bonnie just sitting right there looking very normal. I don't know, if I was Mike Schmidt's character, I'd feel so unsettled being here. It's like being at Chuck E. Cheese and just like looking around. It's just super unsettling with all these like uncanny animatronics. But back on topic, we have Mike Schmidt looking at all the animatronics. I'm assuming this is his first night, since he's just kind of like, you know, looking around, getting a feel for things. Like all the shots, since the first shot we saw him in the clothes sign and all that, I'll assume that's his first night where he's just kind of like, you know, getting used to things, just doing a walkthrough, looking around and looking at all the animatronics. Yeah, just looking at all the animatronics. There we have like, you know, Freddy. I'm assuming Chica, yeah, right there. And I just gotta say this, I'll probably touch on a little bit later on, but the animatronics look fucking outstanding. Like, absolutely awesome and so cool. And a lot of the YouTubers that did go to visit the Five Nights at Freddy's set, talk to Scott Cawthon and all of that, they were not lying when they say, like, the people at, like, you know, Jim Henson's Creature Shop did not, like, even skid a detail. Like, you literally see the exoskeletons inside of Freddy's, like, you know, mouth and all of that, and Chica holding, like, you know, the classic little cupcake. And they do look genuinely really good. Yeah, there right there is the little cupcake just sitting right there as Mike Schmidt's just looking around, turning on the power. And right here, we'll get a clear shot of it a little bit later on in, like, you know, the trailer or the teaser trailer, is that we see the classic Celebrate sign just sitting right here, which is, like, you know, classic. It's in the security room inside, or I think it's in the security room in the first, like, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's video game, just sitting there. And it's a cool Easter egg. Turning on the power, showtime, we get that amazing Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria sign with Freddy right there, and the amazing sign. They did show a, like, you know, early teaser of this sign, kind of in, like, a little video, because it's, like, obviously not too much of a spoiler or anything, but this sign looks really good. Like, I actually really like how it looks. Freddy right there. Now here's also yet again, I said that, like, not a clear shot to celebrate, like, you know, Easter egg sign for the first Five Nights at Freddy's video game. I think maybe the second, although I don't think it's in that. Get a lot of the kind of iconic, like, you know, this is the security room, like, you know, that's big enough already, like the gigantic security room where Mike Schmidt's gonna be doing all of his kind of nightly runs and all of that, and kind of looking at all, like, the making sure the building's safe and locked down. So we get a lot of kind of, like, I'm assuming gift shop, maybe something right there. Maybe a prize room. We get behind a curtain stage. We get the obviously main stage where Freddy, Chica, and Bonnie are staying, with their instruments. Now this right here, I think down with like here all these tables, I think this is the iconic cafeteria room where like some of the animatronics will come through. This is one of the main cameras in the first Five Nights at Freddys video game. And then right here, I'm assuming is one of the back entrances or maybe a hallway, because obviously in the first video game, there's actually all the video games, you could see through all the hallways. And then right here, I think is one of the closets from the video games, like one of the main cameras again. And here's just some outside views. This looks like one of the main hallways again, where Foxy will just come sprinting down and everything if you don't see him, or don't keep your eye on him. Where Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and all of them will just come slowly walking into the hallway, or like I said in Foxy's case, just absolutely booking it. And here's another iconic shot from the video games where you have Bonnie, Chica, Freddy. This is actually almost an exact shot of the security cameras. This is exactly where the angle is in the video game, or almost exactly the exact shot or camera angle. And then here's another hallway right here where I'm assuming, like I said, Foxy will come running down to fuck up your day, or Chica, Bonnie, Freddy will just come peeking around the corners, just standing there. And I'm assuming, again, this is one of the closets where, from the video game, at least I think, because there are some closets in the video game that are on, one of the main cameras. Although I do wonder, I can see them pulling a Sinister, since I think Sinister is Blumhouse, as far as I know, is in the movie Sinister, the horror movie Sinister, which is a great one if you've not seen it already, is you have Bagul, that's the movie's main villain, just kind of when the character, which obviously in this case will be Mike Schmidt, looks away from the camera, and in a very blurred shot we just see one of the animatronics slowly turn their head. That would be absolutely awesome. I'm so predicting and hoping that they do that, because that'd be a really cool shot. There's Mike Schmidt looking around. And then there's Freddy just staying right behind him, as I said, to fuck up his day. I'm not sure this will be a final fight situation where, he turns around, Freddy lunges at him and all this to fight him. I'm assuming this might be because he's probably looking at the stage going, oh, fuck, where's one of the animatronics? Did I lose one? Did someone break in and steal? Did I fuck up at my job? Am I going to get fired? And then he turns around, he just sees Freddy just standing right there, and he's like, oh, shit, you scared me, pal. I don't think he would say that, but he's just like, oh shit, how the hell did he get over there and everything and all of that. I don't think this is too far into the movie to say that this will be a final fight where Freddy, like I said, lunges at him. So I'm assuming it's just kind of him on his first few nights going, oh, what the fuck, unless he gets from this, unless he hears the security guy talking on the other end from the games or from the video games, just saying oh, they might move around and everything, as if he's gonna think that's normal. And then right here is where we kind of, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this is Mike Schmidt and everything is gonna be fucking diced up. But apparently, and I'll talk about this later into the trailer, this is not Mike Schmidt. This is someone else that gets locked into a chair. Or although it might be, it could be, although it really much replicates the kind of outfit that someone else is wearing in the trailer, which I'll talk about later. But then we get Mike Schmidt here about to get pizza sliced up, but by what I'm assuming is Freddy. Because, it kind of looks a little bit more brownish, darkish, and everything, which obviously more so replicates Freddy. Although it could be Foxy, although I'm more so thinking Freddy, where it's his face opens up. You see a bunch of these slicing things just coming right for you. The red eyes, which have been a very controversial topic in the FNAF community. But I really don't mind them. They kind of look fine. Yeah, it does kind of look a little off, but I could grow onto it, and I've already grown onto it. But yeah, we just have a bunch of these pizza slicers, blender machines just coming right on Mike Schmidt's face to cut his face off. And we did get also another image tweeted out by Blumhouse and Jason Blum. It was kind of leaked also, I think, by Getty Images or something like that. But we did see another shot where it's Mike Schmidt being held at slice knife point by one of the animatronics and everything, and it did, I don't know what animatronic it did look like. Yes, this is the photo I was talking about. And make sure to go follow Johnny Blocks on Twitter. Really good Five Nights at Freddys news account and all that and updates. But yeah, this is the photo I was talking about where it's Mike Schmidt being held, and I can't tell exactly. I think this is another one of, I think this is one right here is different from this one right here, because this one looks a lot more deteriorated and kind of fucking thrown around and all that, although it does have the same spikes. But as I said, I do think it's a completely different one. I can't really tell, but you can see kind of like the exoskeleton and all of that, just like, going it all around. It's just cool to see exoskeleton, since exoskeletons are a big part of the Five Nights at Freddys, like, video game and franchise and all of that. But yeah, I'm assuming this is when we're getting to, like, final fight, like, final moments, like, final clips, scenes, and all of that moment and everything, which I really cannot wait to see, because that's gonna be really cool to see Mike Schmidt just kicking absolute like ass in it, like Nicolas Cage in like Willy's Wonderworld. So yeah, slicing and dicing. Okay, so here's our first shot of Foxy. Now, Foxy, as far as I know, is not seen in the trailer at all, besides this kind of little silhouette or shadow. So, and we see him on his iconic hallway, where it's probably him about to just charge and run full speed down the hallway to, like I said, fuck up Mike Schmidt's day, which will be really cool. And like I said, this is likely at a hallway. Although the hallways in this game, or not in this game, this movie or film, it do seem a lot more run down and like, kind of grimy and all of that, and rusty than the video game, where it looks a little bit more like, polished, while this, like I said, looks rusty, grimy, and all of that, which obviously is the case since it's been closed for God knows how many years. And then right here is where we get our first shot of Mike Schmidt's sister, as far as I know, and basically what I read off of like, wikis and stuff like that, which I don't know how credible that could be, but back on topic. This is Mike Schmidt's sister, Abby, who is like obviously Abby Schmidt and everything. And so in an earlier released image that we got from Blumhouse and Jason Blum and all of that, we did see Abby holding hands with Freddy outside of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Well, I'm assuming maybe Freddy got Abby. Abby just went there with like, Mike for like, a night out and everything, to just like kind of like, hang out together, just some sibling bonding and everything. And he brought her to work. Or maybe, like, like I said, Freddy stole her, kidnapped her, something. Or maybe William Afton kidnapped Abby and brought her to Freddy and everything as a sacrifice or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, she is here either by, Mike just bringing her for fun, Freddy or one of the animatronics from all the animatronics kidnapping her, or William Afton kidnapping her. It's one of those, actually. It's definitely got to be one of those. But she's clearly looking up at all the animatronics, and obviously Freddy's eyes light up this orange-red beady color that just looks so creepy. Obviously activating, going into, like, kill mode. Someone did mention that if it's white eyes, like, or white kind of glowing eyes like that and everything, then it's the ghost kids controlling or possessing like the animatronics, which I don't even know if that means like that they're good or something. So you'd imagine the kids would be like, good and all of that and everything, and be a lot more helpful, like, to not kill. Then when it's red, it means it's William Afton controlling the animatronics, which I don't know how true that is. Please do correct that if, like, I'm wrong, or if that person was wrong that I saw that Reddit post from, or Twitter post. We get a new shot, or our first shot of, like, kind of a new character. It would, like, our next shot. I do think she's played by Elizabeth Lale. If, like, do correct me if I'm wrong. I think she plays Vanessa. I think this is Vanessa, and she's obviously, like, I don't know who she is necessarily in the movie. I don't know if she's, like, Mike Schmidt's girlfriend, a cop. She kind of looks a bit like detective, with like the hair tied back and all of that, just like, doing some research. Obviously she's here talking to maybe Abby, because she's like, oh shit, Abby was taken, here to investigate and everything. Or if maybe like, she's here kind of under some investigative business, kind of besides all that, not the final night, not the final fight and all of that, and she's just here hanging out. Who knows? And then right here is we get a shot of the ghost children. I'm not gonna lie, does that kid not have an arm? I wonder if that's like an Easter egg to Foxy, because obviously Foxy has a hook arm, and then obviously this kid has like a kind of ears on, like bunny ears, so maybe Bonnie? Who knows? But yeah, as I said, these are the ghost children. There was a lot of ghost children casted for the movie, so I'm assuming these are them, like, ones killed by William Afton, and obviously the animatronics, or Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and all of that, which would make sense, because like I said, they do have a lot of, like, kind of odd resemblances, where this kid might not have a hand, or maybe it's just, yeah, I think it's a little blurred out there, so maybe I'm wrong. And then obviously Chica, or not Chica, Bonnie's, like, bunny ears and everything, so him seeing the ghost children, which I do wonder what kind of spawns this, kind of like him seeing the ghost children, what like spawns him to go and look for them or find them and everything. And maybe like, they're trying to help him to like, please free us and everything and all of that. Then they all run away, and it's kind of interesting that they all run away just as they cut to a shot of William Afton, where it's like, oh, they're running away from him, like, why are they running away? And then the next shot is him, and there's not really many Easter eggs inside of his office, and we didn't see Mike Schmidt lying on the ground looking up. And again, we see William Afton. Let me see if kind of this shot maybe tells us anything. I mean, the shot's angled a little down, and obviously Mike Schmidt's looking up, so maybe it's like kind of to show that, like, William Afton's, like, bad, which obviously he is. He's kind of the main villain of the Five Nights at Freddys or FNAF video games. But Mike Schmidt looking up and everything and all of that. Now, this is that security guard I was talking about earlier, where this might have been the guy getting locked into the chair, like the first security guard before Mike Schmidt. And maybe this is the guy that's going to be on the phone going, hello, hello.
Hello? Hello?
And basically giving us all of our kind of tips and tricks on, like, how to survive our 5 Nights at Freddy's. And I'm not sure who he's being killed by. Maybe Freddy, Foxy, Bonnie, Chica. I'm assuming this might be the opening of the movie before Mike Schmidt's hired, and then, like, this guy's just killed. And maybe it won't even show the animatronics. Maybe it'll be a first-person perspective, kind of like Jaws or Child's Play or something like that, Chucky, where it doesn't show us who's killing, but it's just a first-person perspective, like Michael Myers' Halloween. That'd be cool. And then right here we get an exoskeleton stomping down. Like, I can't tell exactly whose foot this is. It might be, I don't know, because, like, I think I'd assume Freddy, maybe Chica and Bonnie would have more, like, more toes, so maybe this is Foxy. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, one of the exoskeletons, which means it's been kind of, like, torn to shit a little bit, and maybe this is one of the exoskeletons that's, like, slicing towards, like, Mike Schmidt and everything with all, like, the pizza cutters or blenders, whatever the hell those are. So this could be one of those, and this could be during, like, the final fight sequence where, like, Mike's taking on, like, William Afton, all these, like, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and all of them, and Freddy. And it crushes one of the balls, and we get Abby lowering down into a ball pit. So this could be, like I said, this is likely during that whole final fight, final scene, like, final act and everything, where, like, Abby and Mike are fighting back against, like, William Afton and all the animatronics, the Freddy, Bonnie, Chick, and all of them. And Abby's hiding from all of them until she looks up, and she obviously sees Freddy, Bonnie, and likely Chica and Foxy. She's just staring down at her, like, menacingly. And obviously our release date of October 27th, 2023. So that was the Five Nights at Freddy's trailer, and kind of all I want to touch on in that light. I also love this, like, logo right here. And we did get some posters, too, with obviously the trailer right here on, like, the Five Nights at Freddy's Twitter, with obviously Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and obviously the cupcake, which just, I don't know why, but this also just looks creepy. I wonder if they're going to make the cupcake a live character also. That would be kind of interesting. Maybe play, like, Evil Dead, where, like, Linda's head kind of bites down Ash's hand, and then maybe for, like, this, you have, like, the cupcake that bites down, like, Mike Schmidt's hand, if they want to go for any sort of comedic route. Which the movie will be PG-13 as far as I know, so that could be possible. And I'll have individual character posters for the animatronics. I do wonder if we'll get individual character posters or posters featuring our characters like Mike Schmidt, William Afton, Abby, the Ghost Children, Vanessa, maybe some more of that. Because there is also a female villain played by Mary Stuart Masterson, so maybe we'll get that too. Five Nights at Freddy's has a website also, which I'll link down below, also with the trailer and posters and all of that, and obviously the whole other teaser images that was given to us. And here's the website. Well, you can watch the trailer. Obviously, it has some information in theaters and streaming on Peacock and on October 27th. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about in the video. What are your thoughts? What do you think of the trailer? I personally love the animatronics. What do you think about the animatronics? I think Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. Based on the little we do see of Foxy, we don't even see his full view, actually. Are you excited for it? What do you think about, like, Mike Schmidt, William Afton, the casting, the characters? I personally think they look great. They don't really say much in the trailer, but they do look really cool. William Afton did have some dialogue in a leaked trailer, which I won't go and touch on any more than that and everything, since obviously I don't want to, like, spoil too much. But he did have some dialogue there, and he sounds really cool. So yeah, as per usual, all sources will be linked down below. Thanks for watching it. Peace, my amigos, and peace out.